chasing a road to glory, driven since I was a child.
If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, work day and night for it. Happy Monday morning, everybody. Let's get to the office. Let's go. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you're doing great. Was able to make it through a little bit of traffic this Monday morning, and didn't do my podcast yet. I was going to do it on leadership when I got to the office. Wanted to talk about the 16 personalities. Great. 16personalities.com. You can pay for a little bit more of an in-depth description, but basically it's like a 20-minute maybe questionnaire. It talks about basically how you're wired. Really powerful, really insightful, and thought it'd be really helpful for people to check it out. So you might want to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of recap in my leadership video, my podcast, basically some of the main highlights. Then we got a 9 o'clock team meeting, then a 9:30 one-on-one, then a 10 o'clock interview, and then a noon, and then kind of look into this 5 o'clock, and then I got a lot of we got to clean up the CRM, plan for the upcoming 90 days. Since today's April 1st, want to be able to make sure that we get through as much as possible and planning for that future. And remember, I'm going to be out Wednesday night, driving out to Salt Lake City. So I'm out Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday next week. So got to make sure that I get enough done. So that way I feel like we can continue the momentum that we got going on. Sherman's out. Hey there, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Leadership Monday. Wanted to be able to, one of the most common questions people will ask me when it comes to leadership is they want to know, as an employee, as a direct report, as someone that works in a team, is what are their strengths? So they're asking me, their leader, their manager, how I can identify what they're really good at. And so a lot of times I'll end up pointing them to, what do they enjoy doing when they come into the office? What kind of gives them some inspiration? What kind of gives them some excitement on what's going on in the world? And then there's a great website out there called 16personalities.com. It's at no cost. You can get a more in-depth report if you want to, but it basically will allow you to be able to identify how are you kind of wired. A lot of those assessments, I come out as 100% extrovert, which a lot of you aren't surprised by. And what mine is I'm an entertainer in that, and so that can be really insightful. So check that out. Sherm's out. Everybody, hope you're doing great. Common question people will ask me is, what do I think their strengths are? Or how can they identify what they should be doing, what they can be doing in order to improve themselves and move forward in a way that's meaningful, whether it's for their career or their personal life. And so one of the things that I'll typically tell them is, well, what gives you joy? What brings you positive energy? What keeps you motivated to keep doing what you're doing? And is that where you want to be able to take your life? At the same time, what would you consider to be your strengths? What would you consider to be the certain things that drive you from a value perspective? There are some great tools out there. Strength Finder 2.0 is one that comes to mind. 16 personalities, like 16, the numbers, and then personalities.com at no cost can give you an assessment about who you are. Breaks it down obviously into 16 personalities. I come out as an entertainer, no surprise there, 100% extrovert. So those can be insightful to help you know you. Sherm's out. Okay, after the team meeting now, I am going on to Hearsay Social, and uploading, making sure that I have posts for the upcoming month. I have some hashtags that I put in regards to my company, make sure that I'm helping promote that. Use Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and from a time perspective, I know strategically maybe I should be mixing up the content on those different platforms, but I'll add in, at least on a daily basis, basically how I can add value specifically to those personalized messages. So let's see, on this one I am 53 characters over. I can't do that, so let's get rid of Twitter. It's too long for Twitter. Boom. So I'm trying to make sure that there's a post that's strategic out there every single day. Hey there, everybody. What I'd say here on this thoughtful Monday is you want to be able to burn boats. So when it comes to going all in on a particular strategy or a particular team or initiative, get rid of any kind of retreat that you might have and go all in, believing that you can succeed. So I know for some people, when they decide to start their own business, they delete their resume. They completely get rid of it. There is no point of return. It would be too painful to have to recreate that resume. I don't know what it is mentally, but I find that when we have an option of retreat, we might end up taking it. The other one is not to burn any bridges. Remember, when it comes to our industry or to business, it can be relatively small. We want to be able to make sure that we keep our network strong and vibrant. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Don't burn any boats, don't burn any bridges and burn those boats. All right, everybody, hope you're doing well. Had a great day today. After team meeting, ended up having an interview. And what I'd say for a lot of people when it comes to interviewing is always put your best foot forward. Know exactly what you want to be doing. The more specific you are with the role that you want to be playing, what you believe that your specific talents and skill sets are, you want to be able to make sure that the majority of what you do on a day in, day out basis is leveraging those strengths that you have. And then after that, was able to have a one-on-one interview, and then again, being more specific, talking about training, where we want to go, really outlining to the new recruit kind of where we want to take them, how we're going to get them to where they want to go, and making sure that we're still in alignment. Just because throughout the interview process, they might get a little bit more clear in exactly what they want, and it may or may not align with what we're doing. And so we want to be able to make sure that we're always on the right page, if I can use that cliche phrase. Then after that, came to the office, had some one-on-one training. And so when it comes to being a leader, when it comes to training, is understand that just because you trained them one time, don't expect them to know exactly the terminology, don't expect them to exactly know how to be able to deliver it back to you. And then for me, the biggest power is role play. Understand that when they role play it back to me, they're gonna showcase to me whether they know it or not. And at the same time, if I don't demonstrate to them exactly how I think it should go, or highlight the backbone of where this specific skill set is, then I'm not really adding the value that they need in order to really put it into motion. And so understand when it comes to training development, demonstrate first, explain to them why you did it that way, then observe them doing it, and then offer that feedback, and then again, go back into that cycle of demonstrate, explain, observe, and feedback, and that can really help them get to where they want to go and really master out that skill set. Did a little bit of connections on LinkedIn, and then now we're gonna head home, get into that wonderful Houston traffic. Hope you're all doing well. Sherman's out. Hey everybody, leadership thought here on Monday, end of the day. When it comes to training, make sure that you're demonstrating to that person exactly how you want it to be done. Explain to them the backbone of what you think the high points are, so that way they can then convert it to their own personality, their own language. And then the next one is number 3, is allow them to show you, role play it out. You play the customer or the client, let them kind of walk you through it, and then give them feedback. I find that videotaping themselves and then them watching it back with you, and then they telling you what they think is the feedback, is an extremely powerful way for them to see for themselves where they truly have mastered that skill set or not. And again, you're not trying to get them to say it the same way you do, because they have their own vernacular, they have their own phrases, and they have their own personality, but allow them to understand that you've demonstrated, you've explained it, you've observed them, you've given feedback, and that's the loop. Sherm's out.